Essentially, we are a marketing and sales company that specializes in real estate.
I'm in competition with myself to, provide the best solution for the sellers.
Learn more about you and your situation and make sure we're both a good fit for one another.
It's the curiosity mindset. I'm not selling you my house until I can move into a new house.
What I think is super incredible is it is seem like you are open to just educating, like almost being open to sharing any information and knowledge that you guys know.
So sitting in our office in person, but then working in different states as well too.
Maybe somebody is, I want to put an offer on this brand, on this new house.
All right, so welcome to Real Estate Bites, where we talk about real estate, sprinkle in a little bit of food, and we share the best and the worst recipes for deals. Today, I've got a completely booked house with the team from Joe Homebuyer. This is an incredible, super dynamic business here locally in Louisville, and they're going to be sharing all kinds of, their real estate opportunities and how they just run their business and the basics of what they do. And they have just been completely crushing it, even more than your grandmother's cornflakes on her casserole. It's an incredible business. I can't wait to hear more about it. We got Mike here, Sydney, and Zach. And Mike, I basically just wanted to get kind of like a overview of the business, sort of even, I know you guys do, wholesaling is one of the things. I really see a lot of different stuff in there, but just wanted to get kind of a wholesaling 101, a little basics about what that is. And of course, tell me about the business as a whole and what you guys got going on.
Yeah, for sure, Andy. We appreciate you inviting us on here. I know we're all super excited to be here. But to answer your question, so Wholesaling 101 is essentially we are a marketing and sales company that specializes in real estate. We're not a real estate company at the end of the day. So marketing and sales. Marketing means that we market to homeowners that need to sell quickly and for cash most of the time at the end of the day. And so these are folks that could be in any sort of life situation. We have some people that simply just need to move quickly for a job. Other people that have come on hard times due to pre-foreclosure, bankruptcy. Other people that have inherited a home and they have not lived in Kentucky or Ohio, where we operate, for multiple decades at this point. And the idea of them having to come back and kind of deal with this whole process over months of selling their childhood home or their parents' home just seems too much for them, for any good reason that they have going on in their own life as well. So we market to these people through a bunch of different channels in marketing. And then the sales side is we find a number that works for both parties. We like to think that we differentiate ourselves that way. So there's Joe Homebuyer, JHB. We also think that it stands for Join Here Build. And so it's not necessarily what our competition does, where they will walk in, maybe shake your hand, Andy, be there 10, 15 minutes, say, hey, I'll get back to you in a day or two with an offer. And they may or may not even do that. Zach and Sydney here are pros at being there for multiple hours, truly getting to know the seller, figuring out, join here, build a plan, and then figuring out a way that the seller feels comfortable when they win, and then we win as well. And how we win is we get the property under contract, bringing this full circle to answer your question, by then getting the property under contract and then assigning the rights to that contract to an investor. And then after that closing date, everyone comes together, money is exchanged for keys, people walk away, everyone's happy.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love that. Say that again, join here, build.
Yep.
I love that. Yeah, it's super cool. It's just like coming up with something like that helps probably keep the team really clear about what you guys do and what you're trying to do for people. And it really sounds like you are really just trying to touch people in specifically what they need and helping them to get ultimately to the other side of the transaction, whatever that looks like, and helping them in the best possible way.
Exactly.
Like.
Yeah. People will constantly tell Zach and Sydney, as the two acquisition managers here, like, I want an offer. Can you give me an offer? And they do want an offer, but more importantly, they want to sell their house. They want someone who can actually keep their word and close. And so that's what we do.
Why do you think that you had mentioned that some people will show up, shake their hand. They're probably really nice to them. They'll say, hey, we'll get an offer to you. And then they just disappear. What do you think is behind that whole process? Like, why do they even waste their time? Everybody's time, really.
Yeah, that's a good question. There are probably a bunch of different reasons. And a lot of our competition is not actually our competition. They act as if they are, but they're treating it like it's a hobby and not a business. And so they don't have the systems in place, the SOPs in place, or just the care that we have in place for these people, the sellers, where they'll, a seller will say, I want 200,000, and that could be way too high for whatever reason. And so an inexperienced person or someone who is experienced, but again, not good at what they do, who doesn't care about the seller, will be there 15 minutes, think to themselves like, man, 200,000, there's no way I could do that price. And at that point, it's not even worth it for them to try and join here and build. And so they just won't respond. That's my assumption.
Yeah.
We try not to
That's
associate
good.
ourselves with those kind of folks. And if
Yeah.
we do, it's to help them improve.
Yeah, no, I love that. I've actually seen some of the stuff that you've been putting out that just, the natural kind of day-to-day stories that you've been sharing. And what I think is super incredible is it seem like you are open to just educating, like almost being open to sharing any information and knowledge that you guys know. And I think that's what really makes a difference too, in what just like your company, just like how you show up and how people will continue to relate to you guys too as a whole.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we definitely, Kevin and I try to do that day in and day out. That's actually the meeting we were talking about just before we hit record here for the end of quarter meeting, is where we're essentially just going to be opening up our profit and loss to the whole team, like statement that we get from our bookkeeper, and be like, here's where all the money goes and here's where it doesn't go as well too. Because people can make assumptions correctly or incorrectly, whether they're on our team or, not saying that Zach and Sydney do that, but just outside the world too. Like we have people call. This happened to Kevin a couple weeks ago where someone was like, oh yeah, my goal is to make like $10,000 per month. I know that might not seem like a lot to you, Kevin. Kevin was like, who are you talking to? Like what? Like that is like that's a lot of money. Like, so people just make these assumptions that because we do, 10 contracts a month, that we're just like raking it in. And the company does well, but a lot of it goes back to the company as well.
Sure.
Too.
Yeah. I mean, that's really the only way to build a company and make it sustainable for all the people that you are providing jobs for, and also continue to help the people that you are helping as far as sellers that are in those distressed or challenging situations. So
Exactly.
if you don't keep the business alive by pumping the money back into it, then how can you continue helping people going forward?
Exactly.
Yeah. Employees, yourself, as well as the sellers. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I love
Teammates.
teammates. Yeah.
Yeah.
Employees. Yeah. I love it.
I don't work for Mike.
Yeah, that's super cool. So I guess as far as just like the, thinking about, you had mentioned just like the other or really not competition, but like the other people that are out there trying to make offers on properties. They're trying to get a good spread, right? They need to try to make a living as well. But I was sort of thinking about if, there was another company that came in here that was maybe even trying to compete directly with you. You could say that there are people trying to do that, but they're just not doing it at the level that you are. But if there was somebody with that level, do you think there is enough, I guess, food on the table in a sense for what's out there for another company? In other words, like, do you think that there's enough out there, or do you think there's already kind of too many chefs in the kitchen trying to make offers on these properties?
That's a good question. If there's enough to go around, like Zach and Sydney, what do you guys think? Do you have plenty to do all day?
Well, I think that's a great analogy, by the way. And, too many chefs in the kitchen is never a good thing, but I don't see that as a problem in what we do. And I don't really look at competition as competition. I'm in competition with myself to, provide the best solution for the seller. So, what sets us apart is not walking in there and saying, how am I going to get this contract? How am I going to make the most money possible? I go in there and think to myself, how can I help this seller, make me the best fit to work with them and get their house sold. So you kind of have to change your mindset. A lot of people walk in and like Mike said, they see the spread's not there. They just look at numbers. They're like, peace, I'm out. Whereas I'm, Sydney and I and Joe Homebuyer, we want to sit down, really go through some things with them, be like, well, what, besides the house, besides the price, like what's going on right now? Like, there's been cases where plumbing hasn't worked. Homeowners haven't been able to take a shower in weeks in their own home. So, we're able to help with that in the meantime while we're, getting to closing. Or, maybe somebody is, well, I want to put an offer on this new house. I just don't know how to do it. We can help with that too. And so all these things, we kind of lay out how we can help them at the end of the day. And then we can talk numbers like, if we're able to do this and this and this, what price makes the most sense for you, knowing that. So
I
I love that. I love that. That
So in other
definitely-
words, to answer
yeah.
your question, there's not too many chefs in the kitchen because not everybody does what we do.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, to me, that just like goes back to really helping them from the heart. You know, it's like you're focusing in on where their problem is, how you can help them. And it may not be just, I'm going to give you the highest price, but hey, I can get your plumbing working so you can take a shower again. And, you know, I've had the good fortune of working with you guys directly on, you know, a deal recently with a woman. You know, I had direct contact with her. She was adamant about trying to get out of the house that she was in. I don't know all the details of, you know, her kind of situation that she was in, but specifically the property that she had found it was really, she said it was perfect. She said that maybe 15 times to me. It was the perfect property. I don't know if you know which one I'm even talking
now
about.
I do,
so,
yeah.
So, and I, you know, I know there's probably lots of challenges around that, but you guys went to a whole nother level that I would have never thought anybody would have gone to do. And you actually purchased that property because she couldn't buy that without selling her property first. But really, she needed to be able to get this property, which was on the market. So it was open for anybody to purchase.
Mm-hmm.
You guys bought that outright for this woman. She moved into the property, and then you worked out the situation later for her and her son to move into so that she could have, you know, really the place that she said was the house of her dreams. So it's kind of interesting to see how that all worked out. Again, sure, there's many challenges along the way. It doesn't always come out as easy as that, but to say the least. But I think it was just really cool to, you know, to see that is another option, right? Like those kinds of situations can happen sometimes depending on what's going on.
Yeah. It's the curiosity mindset. And I appreciate you saying everything you just said, by the way. Like, it's definitely been a unique situation helping her out for sure. But yeah, I think a lot of our competition, someone says, I'm not selling you my house until I can move into a new house. Their immediate thought is, well, that's not my job. Like, I can't help with that. Like, you got to figure that out on your own. Like, maybe I can send you some Zillow links at the most, is what I've seen other people do. I can refer you to an agent sort of thing, but I want to buy your home. Like, how do we do that right now? Sign this contract sort of thing. And ours is pause, like sit back, think, treat them like a human being. It's another person. If your brother, if your close family member said the same thing to you, you wouldn't just brush them off. You'd most likely sit back and be like, okay, so you need to buy this house. Like, how can I help you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have access to way more private money lenders and just real estate knowledge and all of this, everything else. Like, we got that house for $20,000, almost 20% less than what she was going to buy it for as well too. And so, yeah, figuring it. And so, is there a way that we can help? Yes. Okay, now it's a win for her, the Join Here build. We can help for sure. There's no question about that. We figured that out. Is it worth it for us in the end too? And
For sure.
it's real estate, so it's a gamble. We'll
Always,
see.
yeah.
We will think. We will find out. You know, in episode 2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. Let's see. What was I going to hit on next was, oh yeah. So just kind of talking a little bit behind the scenes of like maybe some deals that you've had and that really were more kind of like the 5-star experience, like something that just went like perfectly smooth. It was just from end to end, the best experience possible. And then also the opposite being the kind of burnt casserole side where, you know, I would never want to serve this again or have this situation come up again. You kind of have examples, and really that could come from all of you because you've been in that in different deals. But do you have any specifics on?
I mean, Sydney, I like yours. Zach's got a plenty too, but your most recent one that's closing next week with the big. If you want to give some examples for that.
Yeah, so there's a seller and they had found us online. So she had called in to us and I answered right away. And I was on the phone with her for probably 30, 45 minutes, just listening to her situation. Her husband had passed away about a year ago. The house, she couldn't afford payment. She's 80 something and she has to go back to work because she can't afford anything. She's in a lot of debt. And so she's like, all I can do is sell my house. So I was like, okay, like, listen to all of that. I was like, when can I come and talk to you more about this in person? So I went out, talked to her and her granddaughter, who's her only family member that she has, that she's moving in with. And they literally started crying within like the first like 10 minutes. Like, it's their family home. They built it. her and her husband, and so it was very sentimental to her. Moving was a big deal. So I really just sat there and let it all out so I could fully understand everything. And from there, I found out, she's going to go live in the basement, so they need a bathroom in the basement, and, they need a bigger driveway, and they need all this money to pay off her debt. So I listened to all that. I'm like, okay, we have a lot of connections. We can connect you to people to help you. So don't worry about that, And in that, it was like more of like, what's this worth to you? Like, I know you need to pay off debt, but like, what's that look like? And so we kind of looked at tighter numbers with her. And from there, I was like, okay, I stepped out a couple times, maybe probably 4 times to call Mike and was like, what can we really do to help this seller? Like, they're in a bad situation. And so we came up with a plan. We're helping them with their bathroom renovation in their basement. We're connecting them with someone to do their driveway. And she's getting to pay off more than half of her debt. So her payments are going to be a lot lower and she doesn't have to work as much. And that closes next week, and I think the assignment on that is, I don't remember the final number, but it's pretty large.
Before the bathroom remodel, it's like 73,000.
Wow. Nice.
And that's closing, what, in 30 days or less?
Yeah, it's like 20, 25 days. And so Sydney's being humble here. So this is where it's like what separates, like,
Tell us what's really going on.
like us from the competition is that the sellers, understandably, what it's a very normal thing to do is they are sitting there thinking, okay, I need X number of X dollars for this, Y dollars for this, Z, ABC, all that stuff. And Sydney's sitting back thinking, like what Zach does here, what I do, what Kevin does as well, what we're all taught to do, of being curious, asking questions, and then thinking how we can help. And so when they're saying we need at least $25,000 for a bathroom remodel, and then Sydney thinking, well, understandably, you're going to call probably whoever just pulls up on Google first. Like, they're going to have all this overhead. They're going to be raking you over the coals, like maybe 30, 35, 40. Who knows how much they're going to charge you for this to build a bathroom from scratch in their basement. Like, we're breaking concrete, all this stuff, new plumbing, everything like that. Yeah. Kevin GCs multiple houses a month as we flip houses and whatnot. He knows how this works. He knows the top people kind of in the city that can do a really good job, but also at the best price as well. And so Sydney wrote on the contract, we will GC the bathroom for you, and we will pay the cost as well. So you don't have to worry about that. So when they're thinking it's going to cost them $25,000, $30,000, $35,000, it's going to cost us a fraction of that. And so we got the contract for less that amount.
Gotcha.
And that's, so at the end, it's a 73 assignment. We're going to be taking home a little bit less than that, but still we got the contract for much, much less than probably a competitor could because of that mindset.
And you're taking on the pain of like getting all of that taken care of for them.
Great point. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to have a relationship with this person after. It's not like when we close next week, we're done.
Yeah.
It's okay. GC bathroom starts the following week. Like, we got to make sure that's good too.
Yeah.
But we get, it's worth it for us in the end.
That's amazing. I mean, that's what I see happening like in the long run. Like, as you guys do more deals, you connect with more people, build more relationships. Like, who, of course, are they going to think of when somebody talks about like, hey, I need to sell my house, or just whatever whatever the situation is. Or hey,
Zach's gotten multiple referrals of assignment fees of probably getting close to 100,000 at this point, just from seller referrals. Like, so he does such a good job with a seller. The seller loves him so much that 1, he gets a 5-star review, and then 2, the seller refers him to somebody else, and it's, I don't know the exact number, but it's up there.
I honestly don't remember either. I think I know specifically one property that led to another property. I'm trying to think back of others, but I know they're there. Referrals are like gold to us because that means that we're doing our job. Yeah. People want to work with people they trust and like.
Yeah. If you can refer your family to a wholesaler, like, that's crazy. Like,
well, that's because like what you said, like you're doing something that's different, that's really helping people and figuring out what it is that they need, as opposed to just wholesaling. I guess it's really there's going to be a new word that's created from that, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely has a bad rap because on paper, people just hear, oh, Sydney got that person for $73,000 of equity for their house, when, they don't get to know because that's where I was blown back by actual purchase and sale agreement, and it was like a laundry list of things that Sydney had rightfully so like promised, which I was on the phone with her. We agreed to all of it. It was good. She
That's
got the
okay,
deal.
right?
Yeah. It was like all these things that we agreed to, and it's like that's what makes it worth it at the end. The person is okay giving up that much equity. They know how much their home is worth. Like these people aren't. They're smart people at the end of the day. Some of them, and at the end of the day, they're okay with that because we do that white glove service.
And she did have on there that we would pay for their kids' college tuition, but we had to cross that out. It's too much.
Whatever it takes.
But it's that mindset too. There's been plenty of times that Zach and Sydney have been in someone's house for 3 or 4 hours, where if they're saying no to them, like what's your guys' first thought when someone's saying no?
I didn't do my job.
Yeah, didn't do my job.
I need to ask more questions.
Exactly.
I'm missing something is what I say. I'll tell the seller that too. I'll be like, what am I missing here? Because from what I understand, this is what you need, and I can provide that. What am I missing? Or Mike will say, it sounds like I'm not providing you the value. Why am I not providing that value for you?
Yeah.
Do you get answers from those questions?
Oh,
Like an
definitely,
answer?
yeah. They're like, well, it's actually this, and then they'll let out whatever, or maybe they won't, and you have to dig into it more. But you get something from it where you can continue that conversation.
Yeah.
The more questions you can ask that get the seller thinking, the better.
It's all about trust.
I mean, really, it's like the way I'm envisioning like these meetings with people. It's like it's more of like leans towards therapy in a sense. Like you're like talking through these situations. Like a lot of times they are, emotional. They have all kinds of stuff come out and you just ask like the right questions. All of a sudden, they're telling you like.
Zach and I have been in appointments where people will literally hug us several times throughout that appointment, like because they're so thankful just for the conversation. We haven't even signed a contract yet. They're just hopeful that we're there and listening.
Yeah, I had an appointment. I've had 2 appointments with somebody out in Oldham County, near here, and I haven't gotten a contract with her, but like she has made multiple times the comment that I feel like I need to pay you for being my therapist.
There you go.
You don't need to do that. I'm just trying to
sign this agreement.
This will pay for your therapy.
And honestly, like sometimes sometimes they think in their head that selling, like for instance, this person thinks that selling their house is the answer to their problems, and the whole time I'm like asking her questions like, is this really what you want to do? Like we're not, we're here to make, be the best solution for you if that's what you really want to do.
Sure.
There's absolutely no pressure at all. I mean,
Yeah. It's no obligation.
No.
Yeah, we're just having a conversation.
at the end of the day, it's an it's an agreement. So we're able to fix whatever, provide any solutions that we need to provide, but also we agree on every single term, and that's what people might look down on wholesaling, but for me, it's like this is so much more than just saying this is what I can pay for your house, and this is what you're accepting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
For your cooking analogies, we bake with love.
Yeah.
There you go.
A lot of love in the food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a slow braise over maybe even months or years, depending on what the situation is.
We're working with grandma's recipe. It's been passed down generation after generation. It works. Our recipe
Yeah.
works.
There you go.
Yeah. What's the longest close you guys? Do you guys know that? Like the longest lead started in what? A year later, 9 months later? Probably.
That's a good question.
You just got one that was from 2023.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We had a lead that came in October 2023. We just closed and then finally got it under contract, and from under contract to close it was like 2 weeks.
Wow.
But it was a lead from 2 years ago.
Wow. How often are you checking back in with those people? Like a ton.
Probably not enough. We try. If you ask him, not enough.
I was going to say, did you say that because he's in the room, or
No, for real. Like sometimes I like to circle back and kind of look to see who's been kind of lost in the shuffle.
We just spend so much money on marketing that we've got a lot of our pipeline is massive to the point where we're not doing it justice. And it's nothing against like Zach and Cindy. They, there's only so many hours in the day.
For sure.
So we definitely want to hire at least 1, if not 2 lead managers where their whole job is to say, hey, we haven't talked to you in 30 or 300 days. Like we're not doing you the service that we should provide as well. So are you ready to sell now? If not, no worries. We'll check back in. But if yes, can I get one of my 2 fantastic home buying specialists out to you ASAP? And so, our pipeline is overflowing. So we got to work on that.
Yeah.
We're far from perfect. That's for sure.
Well, I would think too, like if you are the one going and talking through all these scenarios with the sellers? I mean, just like what you were talking about with the, the people that are hugging you and telling you all their stuff, like everything's coming out of the closet. Like that's got to be a lot too to take on. So there's only so many of those situations that you can, I feel like, be in through a week before you're just worn out, right? Like it's just a lot.
Yeah,
to be
I think
thrown
there
on
was a day when Zach and I went on several appointments together, and I think it was like 3. And like after we left the second one, we were like, we are mentally like drained because like, I mean, you hear these people's life stories and all the worst things in their life. And so it's just a lot. And like, we want to be able to provide our best self to each seller separately. So it's like, now we both go on appointments separately. That was a time when we were kind of teaming up on those. Now we go on separately so we can do a lot more, but not as much on our own plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, we figured that out, that going forward, you're not allowed to really do more than 2 appointments per day.
Okay.
Because you're just that third, like they said, that third one, you're not going to give your best effort. And not that you don't want to, you just can't.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Yeah, that's the part that I don't think people that would really realize as well, right? Just kind of like tying in all the energy and the emotional drain, I guess, as well. I'm sure it can also pump you up, right? You can have both, but I could just see how, just personally having been in those situations, like how much that could kick your butt.
Well, it's just how in-depth these guys go. Like I said, we're not the 15 minutes walk around. If we were doing that, they could go on 12 appointments in one day. But we have a house rule that you're not allowed to talk about money at these appointments for at least an hour.
Okay.
Like you have to spend that first 60 minutes just getting to know that person.
Wow.
And they're going to try and talk about money. And that's what we go over in training and whatnot, is how to politely get around that. Not for any other reason than if we start talking about money now, you, Mr. Seller, still don't trust me, Michael. Like I'm still a threat to you. I've only been in your house for 7 minutes. I get why you don't trust me. I need to get to know you better to even figure out if I'm going to be the right fit for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Embrace the awkwardness, love to linger.
Love to, yeah. It was
to linger.
a lot of quiet.
Yeah, at the end of the day, though, you get, it's all situational. So you will run into sellers that are strictly business,
Yeah.
But you don't do it to the point to where it pisses them off.
You just
You
wait.
got to know your
You
surroundings.
have to be there until they kick you out or you have a contract.
Yeah.
Is our mindset.
And you tell them no. There was a call that came in a couple days ago, and I heard Sydney do it in our new office, and she was saying, they were like, "Can I get an offer?" And Sydney was like, "Yeah, we don't really do things that way."
Okay, I say that's not how our process works. So I was like, I'd like to learn more about you and your situation and make sure we're both a good fit for one another.
Yeah.
Because I just want a number. I said I don't want to be the person that just throws you a number and then that doesn't work for you. So now you're back to the starting point. And so it's like, I want to help you, and me throwing you a number is not helping you.
Do people get mad if you say that, or they're just like, I just want a number. Like, can't you just give me a number?
It's very rare that they get upset. Normally they're like, okay, what do you need to know, or what do you want to talk about? And you get them to loosen up a little bit as the conversation goes on. But some people are like, if you're not going to give me a number, I don't want to talk. And I'm like, okay, then we're not a good fit for you, because that's not what we do.
Got to break down the walls, the barriers. A lot of people have very strong guards.
Because they're either going to hang up on us then, or they're going to hang up on us when we give a number that actually works for us.
Yeah.
So might as well save that.
Yeah, I think it's important to accept that not every person that you talk to is going to be a seller for
Yeah,
you. Like,
for sure.
Accept that not everyone's a good fit. You don't want to force it or waste your time on someone that's not going to work out.
Yeah. Do you have a percentage of like how many people, and some might be hard to tell because they may go on for months before you come back around to a conversation again, but do you have a KPI on what conversations to contracts?
Not how many touches, but I think what you're asking is, and I don't know how to do the math on this, we're like 1 in 10 leads we close. So I guess 10%.
Oh, that's amazing.
I guess so. Yeah, we've gotten like 800 leads this year, and in our system, we've gotten 80 contracts.
That's
Well, actually, I guess it'll be
that's
less
what
than, because what our close ratio, we cancel like 20 to 25%, so a little bit less than that. So
yeah. That still seems really good.
yeah, we do. So we have some marketing channels that are pretty broad, and then some that are pretty niche as well. Mail being one of the niche ones, but mail also being one of our favorite ones at the end of the day too. Even though it's only about 1,500 letters a month, mailers a month, we do really well with mail.
Okay. Well, that's kind of was one of the questions I had, was just like, Are you open to sharing your strategy on like marketing and how you even connect with these people in the first place, and what sort of the secret sauce is behind all of that?
I don't know if there is a secret sauce at the end of the day, but we do Google PPC, Google SEO. We do barely a little bit of Facebook. We do mailers, so sending out mail that way, cold calling, and then referrals. And we talked about like a little bit of driving for dollars. We don't really pay that though. That's just, we're going to an appointment and they see a rundown house and they write it down and call it. But am I missing anything?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
In the cold calling, I guess if you broke down cold calling, you could break it down even further, like niche foreclosures and stuff like that.
Yeah. There's lists within that we try to stack.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But the secret sauce behind that is, I learned it from Brent Daniels. It's just TTP, talk to people. Just the more people you talk to, the more you can get out there, the higher chance, the more offers you make, the better chance you're going to have to be successful.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess if I did have a secret sauce, it would be the mindset that I want to say no to them. I don't want them to say no to me being a seller. Like in my perfect world, in my dream world, it would be every day Zach and Sydney sit down at like a bank teller and there's just the entire city of whatever city you're in lined up, and Zach and Sydney talk to each other and just no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. After getting to know them, of course. Right. And it's just saying like, hey, this like we are a good fit, we're not a good fit, sort of thing. Yeah.
I love that. That's a good analogy though.
It's really a good mindset to keep in mind too when you do go on appointments and you are talking to sellers, that I have to make sure that you're a good fit for us as well. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
You lose sight of that, then they smell the desperation, or they smell the salesman.
Yeah, for sure. Anything specific you want to kind of go over for your business or individually as far as like what you're trying to grow to, like expand on as far as the business goes? Let me put it this way. Here, we'll go back. Do you have a 3-year vision or more for your business at this point? Have you have something that's like written out and where you'd like to see the business
Mike's
go
bedroom
to?
is a vision board.
I'll bet.
It's very, very planned.
Like you have to be. I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be in your position too.
It's funny you asked that. So I just finished Dr. Benjamin Hardy's book called The Science of Scaling. And so I'm not ready to, this sounds weird and it's not planned, but I'm actually sharing that with them next week.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually I can't say it right now.
You can just tell us now.
Sharing what that looks like. But overall, what our company, like Kevin and I's vision is based off of is we ask them their goals, and then that's what the company's goals are based off of. So at the end of the day, we're not going to hit our goals unless they hit theirs. Sure. And these two have some pretty big goals at the end of the day. So it's a lot of time and energy, and that kind of goes into that for them too. Of course, not just me and Kevin, but yeah we're not it's not like two people that are, everyone has to win together. That's what I'm trying to say.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, that's just what makes it, I think it's kind of the rocket fuel to it all as well.
Yeah.
If you got everybody pouring into it to meet their goals, it's just going to help the whole business and platform move. I
guess what I will share, just to give you guys some context for your listeners, is right now we're closing about 5 or 6 deals per month. And in the next 3 years, we want to close 30 per month. So we have, I
gotta go make some phone calls.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So yeah, I mean, I love that. I think it's just always cool to hear where people are trying to get to, and unless you have that target, it really doesn't, it doesn't really serve you, I guess, if you don't have something that you're shooting for, and then what that would look like, kind of the working backwards method, right? Of how can we get to that point and what it would take to actually get to that.
So for anyone that has the goal of scaling their business, this book, The Science of Scaling by Dr. Benjamin Hardy, just came out in the last couple months.
Okay.
And it's phenomenal. And the entire idea behind it is take your 10-year goal, make it your 3-year goal. How do you do that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you essentially have to change everything.
He essentially says that your goal has to be almost unattainable. And you have to take.
It has to scare the crap out of you.
It has to scare. Well, not unattainable. Obviously,
I mean, 30 deals right now I'm assuming would scare all of you, right? Or at least
it would be. It's impossible for us to do that now, based on the systems we currently have built and the teammates we have, and not in a bad way, but like the kind of people that myself, Kevin, Sydney, Zach, everyone on the team are. We do not have the capability mentally, like just who we are as people. We have so much growth, all 4 of us, all 6 of us, because there's other people that I'm not mentioning on the team too, that there's no way we would even come close to earning the right to do 30 deals a month. So we have to grow as people immensely over the next 3 years.
Yeah, I love that.
I can't say anymore because Kevin and I are supposed to have this conversation with them next week.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, cool. Well, I'll come and visit the office, and maybe I'll see this.
Yeah, for sure.
See it all laid out on the wall or something. So,
Yeah.
Well, one of the things this is just more of like a fun kind of curiosity of, what it looks like in your home. If, probably nobody's home in this situation, but, individually, if you are to be at home, you're hungry, you're going to eat something, but you got short amount of time, so you're just going to shove it in your mouth, usually standing over the kitchen sink, maybe even in front of the refrigerator. Is there a go-to meal that any of you have where you would be, and I can share what mine is so that at least you can have some context of what weird stuff I would do.
I've definitely done this.
Okay. Yeah.
Thinking about what I did last weekend.
Has in some
It
capacity.
depends what the leftovers in the fridge.
Yeah,
are.
Okay, there you go.
Because my answer is usually just like an ice cream cone. That's from Costco. That's not a meal though, so I can't.
But how many calories are in that though? I don't know.
Probably like
might get you to the
200-300.
next,
Yeah.
to the next one. So mine is and I can't have anybody home in this because it smells, but it's like nefarious canned. Yeah, the kimchi would be good too. On top of this, but is canned seafood of any kind. So like usually sardines is my go-to.
Dude, wild.
But crackers, sardines, like some mustard.
This brings me back to Blue Dog days.
Yeah.
It ruined me as a kid when I found out that Caesar dressing is supposed to have sardines on it.
Or anchovies.
Anchovies.
But
See, clearly
still.
my fish knowledge is literally nothing. That's also why we're in. It's also why we're in Kentucky, so that's fine. But yeah,
Yeah, that's right. The little salty.
Yeah.
Well, they're basically all salt.
my
They're
parents
just
brought me to some
absorbed, like-
fancy restaurant and there was like anchovies on my Caesar salad. And I was like, what? The?
What?
I was like, get this away from me. Yeah. Yeah, mine's definitely not fish related.
Yeah.
What would mine be? Probably something really bad for you, like like a chili cheese dog or Philly cheesesteak or something like that. So bad for you, but like it's over the sink. I'm thinking like over the sink. Make a big mess. Yeah.
When I think about that, I think about when I have pizza left over in the fridge. A cold piece of pizza hits so good, and you can grab that so
Never been a
quick.
fan.
Do you ever kind of like enhance the cold pizza and put something else on it? Like, yeah, there you go. Exactly. I'm just gonna
She's
shove it in
flipping
my
3
mouth.
houses. She's a 2-year-old. Like there's a lot.
My husband owns a business. I'm busy.
There you go. So maybe more meals are eaten over the kitchen sink than you'd really like.
maybe in the car. Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. If you ask my wife, I don't eat leftovers. I'm door dashing or eating out.
There you go.
Trying to change that to.
Mine would be some sort of like chicken wing, something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like where you're like
Buffalo chicken
licking
wing.
the sauce off of
Yeah,
your
yeah,
forearm.
so something
kinda
of that
thing.
nature. Yeah.
Messy.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What else? What else you guys want to share? Just kind of overall, as far as your business. I could share like this. One of the things that I'm creating is basically trying to incorporate what you guys offer, but use you as the outlet for this. So what I have in tying it into the whole kind of real, the food element and the real estate, but is having it's really a restaurant style menu with different options on how people can sell their house. So, one of the things being a real estate agent, like we can definitely go kind of 5-star and, do the staging, do high-end photos, do, whether it's landscaping, deep cleaning, even the service side of things as far as providing, a moving truck or any kind of extra ancillary services as one of the options, but then also having what I call the quick bite, is the cash offer, right? It's just like, hey, I want to get this done. I don't want to pay any fees. I don't want people walking through my house, whatever that looks like, and creating that as an option for people. Because one of the things that I've noticed by having conversations with different personalities is sometimes they don't always know. They just know they want a certain number. And then sometimes people are like, I don't want to go to the market. I just want to get this thing sold. And I do want a certain amount of money, but it doesn't have to. I just really want to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Or I've had people that are like, I don't care what I make on it. I'm not paying a single realtor fee. I don't want to pay any fees whatsoever. And so they don't care what they make. They'll take, less money just
Yeah.
knowing they don't have to pay fees, or at least not the traditional fees.
How do you handle that?
Really just the kind of the same way in a sense, is just asking questions. Like it's just coming back to like, why is it that they want to do that? Where are they coming from on this? So it's just kind of digging more into what their situation is and ultimately what it is that they're trying to get to. And because I think up front, it always comes off as money, but then it's not always money. Like money is a part of it. Of course, we all need some kind of return on either an investment or our personal house. And then, you know, if they're in a challenging situation, they're trying to get to something else. So they do sometimes need some cash.
Yeah.
But I think that ultimately that's not always the bottom line. So it's just asking more questions.
Take a page out of Chris Voss's book, and you can mirror and label that. I mean, you know, it sounds like they don't trust realtors. It sounds like they don't see the value in realtors.
You read that book?
I have, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I love it.
Never Split the Difference. Yeah.
It's always better than asking why. Like, well, why don't you want to work with a realtor? It's like, you know,
You never ask why questions.
never ask why.
Okay.
Why seems accusatory. You know, why'd you do that? Why don't you trust us? Why don't you trust realtors? Yeah. Instead of, seems like a realtor's burned you in the past.
Yeah.
Because that's when you were telling that story and giving that example, that's what I was thinking. Is I was like, they don't care about the 6%. Maybe they do a little bit, but most likely they've had one or more realtors who haven't done a good job to their standards, whether they are realistic standards or not. And now they think that a realtor's not worth any percent. And so, yeah, like Zach said, label that of, oh, it seems like you really don't like realtors.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Seems like you've been burned.
And then
in the
they give
past.
you more, they'll divulge
They're like,
more
yeah, I hate
information.
realtors.
Yeah, actually, 5 years ago, this happened. Well, you know, then you can go from there.
So then it's just really like kind of offering up different solutions, right? Just going down the path of digging more into what's going on and seeing ultimately what it is that they're trying to accomplish.
Exactly. Yeah. Love that.
So the other, I have a few menu items. The quick bite, you know, something that could be potentially quick, right? Something that can happen fast. The other one is what I like to call the chef special, and it sort of ties into like a novation deal that we did before, but you know, ties in the novations, ties in seller financing, really creative financing as a whole, and kind of coming up with a solution for them in that scenario, because sometimes the cash offer won't work. Sometimes the listing, they just don't want to do that, or the property doesn't really call for that as well. So it's providing, you know, maybe a more specific solution to what it is that they want. And sometimes they may, like, I've had run into this before where they want to make a certain amount of money for the property. The market's not going to call for that. And so if they were to get that, they can do that, just maybe not all at once. So it's going to be paid over time, right? And so it's just looking at it from a different way and offering them a different path and be able to do that. So if they're open to that and taking it, they can actually make more money than what they would on the market or in, you know, in any other scenario if they're open to taking it over time. And so I think that that's something that people don't always think about, and like providing that financing from the property owner instead of them having to go traditional with a lender or something like that.
Yeah.
I think just gives them a different way of thinking about it, and that they can be creative as well. So
Yeah. I love what you said. Have you read or listened to Alex Ramose's new book, $100 Million Money Models?
I haven't. No, that's like brand new, right?
Yeah, it's brand new. Yeah. So there's a couple chapters in there. I'll have to figure out which ones and tell you to listen to those, because as I was listening to that, I had this same thought that you had, where essentially he's talking about like his gym model. It's like, which fitness program do you want, and this sort of thing. It's like, here are the 10 options. And people most of the time are just going to pick one of the 10, unless it's like absolutely egregious. And there's little things you can do, like saying at the end, which one do you want?
Yeah.
Or, oh, it sounds like you don't want the seller finance option. So you kind of cross that one out, but which of these do you want?
Yeah.
And I've had that, I didn't really know how to like do it or bring it up or whatnot, but I've had that thought too for you guys where, yeah, essentially you go to a house and you're like, okay, you want 200,000. Here's your 6 options. Like, you can do 200,000 as option A, but we're going to pay you over 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do $1 million. Like, if you want, like, sort of
and,
thing.
and technically, you probably could work out a deal where a $200,000 house, you could say, hey, I'll pay you $1 million for this house. I know this is like crazy and
I'm
totally blown out of
yeah.
proportion. Like that doesn't make any sense. But if I were to say, like, I'll give you $1 million for this property, but I'm going to pay you $1 a month
Literally says it all
until
the time.
it's paid off. Oh, you say that?
No, he says it all the time.
I mean, if you think about it, like, that is actually a possible scenario.
Yeah.
And so, you can make $1 million on this property, and this is how it would work.
Yeah. I've said this to people before. I'm like, I'll give you a dollar a day for 1 million days. And I'll pay you annually for it. And then we'll see, how does that sound? And they're like, well, I'm not going to do that. And I'm like, okay. So it's not just price that matters. Like, Mr.
Right.
Seller, I'm not trying to bust your balls here or anything. Like, I'm just trying to get you to think more that there are other things. So when this random person who you can't even remember their name or their company, when they offer you $200,000 for your home, please don't trust it. Like, I've been doing this long enough. Wood costs the same for me as it does for him at Home Depot. So his $200,000, I know you don't know me yet, but just question it. That's all I'm asking you to have, is a curious mindset.
I love that. Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah. So it's just trying to use that as another way to get them thinking, and then also just to provide solutions. Ultimately, that's the idea. So, and then it ties back into the food and branding of what I'm trying to do as well. So,
yeah. Let me know how that goes, because I've thought about that. If you want to close, usually we close in 30 days. If you want to close in 15, we can do that. But the menu item, that's going to cost you X number of dollars.
Exactly.
So we can offer a little bit less.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is true, because we got to go out there and find the private money, and that's at 12+% and all that stuff.
Yeah. So it's like, really any property can sell at the right. It's just, there's a price for what that would be and how quickly they would need to do it, and in what condition, right, as well.
Yeah.
So
remember we were talking, Andy, a couple of weeks back, maybe only a week or two ago, and I told you that stat about the number of houses that have been on the market for over 100 days.
yes.
Has that changed anything? And it's okay if not, but has that changed anything for you, or was that? Because I remember you were pretty. I was surprised by it too.
Yeah. Well, I think it comes back to exactly what we're talking about here, just as far as like what's kind of the motivation behind even wanting to get the house sold. Where are they trying to get to next? And I think a lot of it is just coming up with like really just being confident in the conversation of potentially price reductions, because ultimately it's probably price.
Yeah.
I mean, it's either price or exposure, right? They if they are getting some basic exposure and people have seen the price, then it's probably price. So, it's really just having those confident conversations with them. And that's something that I'm always working on, right?
Yeah.
Like I do role playing with other people, always trying to improve on that. That is something that means a lot to me, to be able to do that, because if you can become confident in that and not feel awkward, because it just is something that you've practiced so much, then you can be more present with people, right?
100%.
You can actually like be with them, really feel what it is that they need, and then just like love on them, right? And figure out how you can best help them.
You can say anything to anybody if you have the right rapport.
And expertise, like seeing these two grow over the last year compared to like their first appointment compared to now, it's a walk in the park for them, because they know what to say, how to say it.
Yeah.
Again, not in a salesy way of like this is how the world works. We're looking at the same world from two different sides of the street, the seller and you. And so you got to get over to their side of the street, see the world from their point of view, and then slowly walk them back across the street to reality.
Ooh, I love
Our
that.
side of the street.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
That's good. I have heard you mention the standing on both sides of the street, looking at basically different sceneries, right? I'm looking this way, you're looking this way.
Yeah.
But to get over to their side and then to help walk them to your side, I think that is it's beautiful, actually.
I stole it directly from Chris Voss, so I can't really. I wish I could.
Oh, okay. Well,
you were going on and on there, so I was like,
beautifully
all right, I gotta give. I can't. I gotta.
I was like, man, that was like a very well thought out, but I guess it came from
it
came from the pro, so the one who created it. But yeah, that's so cool. Well, yeah, I guess really that's pretty much everything I had for today as far as what I wanted to talk about. So.
It was fun, man. Appreciate having
You
us
guys
on.
have anything else?
Anything else you want to add?
What are you trying to do kind of personal? Let's talk real quick on personal levels. Kind of have an idea. You're just trying to grow the business and help them achieve their goals. What's one of your...
So I have a lot going on. Very busy. I'm very ambitious, I'd like to say. And my husband's twice as ambitious as I am. So the pressure's on. But right now our goals are to continue. We just started flipping properties this year and trying to build our rental portfolio at the same time. And so I've gotten 3 properties this year for us just from driving for dollars. We just closed on one today that I talked to the lady in March and just continued to follow up. Hadn't talked to her in months, and she called me. She's like, okay, I'm ready to sell. Went over to her house that day and got the contract.
Wow.
But so yeah, so we're just really trying to scale that on the side because he also owns his own company. And so it's like he's trying to scale that company as well. And then I'm also trying to increase my skills with Joe Homebuyer and help them grow and help myself grow within that company. So right now we're just head on just with everything.
And you got a 2-year-old?
Yeah, a 2-year-old. She's almost 3. She turns 3 in November, but she's by our side all the time when because the important note is on our flips right now, we are doing all of the work ourselves. So our daughter is very hands-on and very skilled for a almost 3-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah, if you follow Sydney on Instagram, they do not believe in child labor laws. At the Hadley house.
Yeah, please don't report us.
What about you, Zach? What do you got? I know you're trying to survive with your twins and just trying to, stay afloat as well. But,
Yeah. For me, actually this right now, it just got me thinking about how I've always gone through my life kind of like tunnel vision. I get so focused on one thing and I try to be the best at that one thing. And it's actually served me pretty well, in life and career. If you get hired on, you're the hardest working, you're the best at what you do, you just continue to keep climbing the ladder kind of thing. But I think that now that I'm out of that kind of workforce, my tunnel has to be demolished and I need to not have tunnel vision. And so that's something I'm working on. I've been with Mike and Kevin for a little over a year now, and we've had multiple one-on-ones and talking about goals and where I see myself and yada, 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 which is like so new for me. It's a year old now, but it was so new for me, and I haven't really, I probably haven't really developed and really sat down and thought about this as much as I really should, or take it as seriously as I really need to, honestly speaking, transparently speaking. So that's something I definitely need to kind of change. It's been a huge mindset change for me, getting out of the whole tunnel vision, be the best at what you do, a W-2 job, so you can climb the ladder. There's no climbing the ladder here. This is like, if you want to be the best, you got to get rid of that tunnel and just kind of like look more broad. So that's what I'm kind of working on.
Awesome.
So as far as aspirations, get back to me.
These
Definitely want to flip my own houses. Definitely that's on the.
Yeah, you want to flip your own houses. You've talked about rentals as well. You've got a certain 5-figure monthly income goal, which you've hit a couple times as well too. But that being more consistent. So this is for real estate agents as well. And these two don't get a salary. So they're, to a certain extent, they run their own business. They just get leads off of somebody else like myself. But we're a team all at the end of the day. But real estate entrepreneurship, in my opinion, is a business journey masquerading as a personal growth journey.
Totally.
Kind of like we talked about before of how we're going to hit these
1,000,000,000%.
goals in
So
3 years.
true.
And so,
Yeah.
the first year is the hardest for sure, man. It's not. And you dove right in at the end of the day. You quit your job, then you dove in. A lot of us you did the same thing as well too. Did you quit and then dive in, or did you do real estate on the side for a little bit?
No, I did start investing on the side, but that it wasn't money that I was using to live on. So I would say that I quit my W-2 and just jumped off the cliff.
For
Said,
sure.
I'm gonna figure it out as I go.
Yeah.
So
I had about a year of doing it in the afternoons and the evenings and the weekends as well too. So it was still scary jumping off, but yeah, it's a lot. It can be a lot different when the way you three did it.
Yeah.
For sure too. It's a lot of growth all at once.
yeah, well, it definitely makes you figure it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you got a lot.
Thank God we got people to help us figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. I mean that. Yeah.
Yeah, fail fast and fail forward.
So it sounds like you guys are open to hiring people. As far as just anybody reaching out to you, get connected with you. Sounds like you're open to having conversations, whether it is a seller that wants to discuss what that could look like for them, or even potentially other investors that might be open to hearing about what you guys have available for them as well as opportunities, or even people potentially that might be interested in joining your team. Is that a real thing that they could reach out to you for?
Yeah, everything you said there is accurate.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have multiple positions open as well that can work in Louisville, and then whether it's being in Louisville or also working remotely. So sitting in our office in person, but then working in different states as well too. We have dealdepot.biz, so all of our investor clientele that buy the deals that Zach and Cindy get on a regular basis. If you want early access to these deals, you sign up for text alerts. That's how you do that. DealDepot.biz, and then attend the walkthroughs and make your offers in that sense as well. So
That's fantastic.
yeah.
Cool. Awesome. I love it. Love what you guys are doing. I've just really enjoed connecting with you. And of course, I've known this guy for 15,
Yeah, how long? 15 years?
something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's my brother.
So thanks for coming in.
Dude,
Appreciate
thanks
it.
for having us.
Thanks
This
for
is fun.
having us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
I'm
so
pretty
much-
hungry now too. So.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the idea. That's the idea. Maybe I should bring some like